Aha, you didn't think I was gonna do it, huh? You didn't think I was gonna do the review? Well, here we are, doing the review. Dragon Ball Super episode 105, also the one where Roshi dies. That's right, guys, it's over. The Turtle Hermit has fired his last Kamehameha. He's burst 4 of his last nosebleed. He's dead for good. For, like, a minute. But, you know, for a 1 minute, it does actually happen, alright? I was really kind of skittish going into this episode. Because last episode, you know, they had the preview and everything, like, and the title of the episode is Master Roshi's Sacrifice, and you know he's not gonna die. You fucking know he's not gonna die. So I'm thinking they're gonna do that thing where they're gonna pretend he's dead and he's really not, or it might be like another kind of sacrifice. Even knowing that going into it, and they sort of do it, but they don't milk it for very long. It's not like Master Roshi dies and then like half the episode is everybody mourning and crying. They rectify it rather quickly, even if you don't want to say that he actually died, although I want to say that it was pretty damn close. The episode focuses mostly on Roshi, which is nice. It's not like we're juggling 800 other things. I mean, Goku's fighting some slime dude, but that's pretty much it. Roshi was actually observing a lot of the other combatants in the Tournament of Power. He was observing everybody, and you know he fights a little bit different than the way that Krillin and Tien and Goku and even like Piccolo and Gohan fight, taking much more of a stance of observation first, kind of like that, you know, that Sung Tzu, you know, like victory is assured that people go into I don't know, I've never run Sung Tzu, but there's probably something in there that's like know your opponent or some shit like that. That's the kind of stuff that Roshi does, you know, so he's carefully observing from the shadows, like, okay, that person can do that person does this, that person looks like they have that kind of ability. And he's focusing on the combatants that would have abilities that would really be troublesome for, like, his pupils, like Goku. Goku's a very straightforward fighter kind of guy. Now, Goku, he's a genius when fighting people, and he can come up with, like, clever ways to, you know, fight back if the opponent has a troublesome power. But Goku is a guy that is most suited to fighting against people that have, like, raw strength and just, you know, I'm gonna beat the shit out of you, you try to beat the shit out of me, and all that shit. There's fighters in the tournament that have different kinds of powers that focus on illusions or trapping you or just abilities like that. Like, there's one lady that Master Roshi fights against that uses, like, an illusion-based ability, and the illusions that she throws at you makes you think that you're gonna fall off the arena, like you're closer to the edge than you actually are. So abilities like that might throw Goku or some of the more, you know, like, other characters, like Vegeta, maybe for a loop just a little bit. But the first character that Roshi fights against is actually this really sexy, you know, blue-skinned, pink-haired girl from Universe 4. And her thing is, like, she can fight using her ki, but then she's like, her other specialty is, I guess she's just a galactic stripper. I don't know where Tequila, you know, picked her up from, but there you go. Now the weird thing is that Krillin is on the sidelines, and he's like, oh, well, that won't work against Master Roshi because he's suppressed his desires. And then she starts taking her clothes off, and Master Roshi starts, you know, doing the grin and everything like that, and is like, oh, let me feel him, and Krillin's like, ah, shit. You know, it's kind of weird because a few episodes ago you had the Universe 2 team releasing that, like, that fog, that mist that was supposed to, like prey on your perverted nature. So, like, a gas that was supposed to specifically cater to, you know, those kind of desires, that doesn't affect Master Roshi, but just an alien chick shaking off her top, that affects him. Like, well, whatever. It actually gets flipped on its head later on, and it's fucking scary, actually, because Roshi, while fighting her, starts to, like, muscle up, you know, goes into his muscle form, and I just think that's amazing that we get to see that now. I mean, who else remembers watching old school Dragon Ball back in, like, the fucking 90s? I know old school Dragon Ball came out in the 80s in Japan, but it didn't really come out until the 90s, early 2000s in America. And the only real time we get to see Master Roshi get all muscle up is when he uses, like, the Kamehameha against the Frying Pan Mountain or whatever, against, you know, Ox King's place. You know, and we see him use it a little bit during the tournament, but he doesn't really do it any other time. I think he used it in one of the Broly movies, but that was it. So I just like the fact that we get to see buff Roshi again in Super, because that was, like, one of the things, like, you'd see him at the beginning of Dragon Ball in, like, the early days, and it was like, oh, it's just a frail old man. Then it's like, holy shit! he's pretty badass, but we don't get to see that form ever again. So he uses that more in Super. He muscles up, and then he says to the lady, he says, I am a man that is driven by his own desires, you know? And I've suppressed those desires, so now my body is like, it's like a fucking powder keg ready to blow, and you're trying to push that, you're trying to light the fuse by, you know, being all stripper and being all, oh, look at me, I'm so hot. Master Roshi's like, are you ready for what's gonna happen to you? And the lady eventually freaks out, and she basically just runs off the side of the freaking arena, and she gets eliminated that way. So then another lady from Universe 4 shows up, and she's a talisman user, and she's the one that can use all these crazy illusions, and she can like make herself appear bigger and everything like that, and screw off the opponent's sense of like direction and everything. So this is where Master Roshi uses the mafuba, and this was a technique that, I gotta be honest with you, there was a little bit of like, is that allowed? Because one of the rules of the Tournament of Power is you can't have weapons or things of that nature. Like, you can't use like poison needles or like swords and stuff like that. That's obvious. You're also not allowed to use healing items like sensu beans or anything like that, or like the things that Universe 9 used in the Zen Exhibition match that allows you to like get you stronger. You know, you're not allowed to use anything like that. It's supposed to be only your abilities that you have, you know? So we have a lot of characters like the alien chick. She was able to use her, like the Universe 4 lady that Master Roshi defeated. I think she was able to use her ki into like weapons and shit like that. That's allowed. But you're not allowed to have like, it's kind of skittish on like actual objects you're bringing into the ring, outside of like your clothing and stuff. So I was like, mafuba, it requires a containment unit. It requires something. Like Tien used a rice cooker. In this case, Master Roshi uses like a little bottle thing with a cork in it. And so he just sets that thing down, and then he uses the mafuba against the talisman vampire demon chick or whatever, seals her in the bottle, and then corks it up, and then just chucks it over the side of the arena. And Tequila freaks out, you know, the little mouse dude from Universe 4, he freaks out, because he's like, that's not allowed! And Beerus is, of course, oh, screw you, it is allowed, because it's this, this, and this. And I'm sitting there like, yeah, you might want to call a ref on that. That is actually kind of, because look, it's not a weapon in the sense of like, it's not a gun or a sword or a poison needle or anything like that, but, well, look at it this way. Let's say you're a master swordsman, right? You have the knowledge in your head to use a fucking sword to cut a motherfucker down, right? But all of that knowledge doesn't matter if you don't have a sword, you know? So what would you say to the Tournament of Power if you have a master swordsman fighting in the Tournament of Power, but he's not allowed to use the sword? Tough shit, that's what you would say. You can't be like, well, I'm a swordsman, I use a sword. I'm like, I don't give a shit, those are the rules, you can't use a sword. Doesn't matter. So the way I look at it is very similar to like Master Roshi. He's like, well, I have the mafuba, that's a technique I can use. I'm like, alright, well, does it require an object? Yes, it requires an object to use. I'm like, okay, well, tough shit, you can't use it. The only difference I can look at is, you know, a sword is an actual weapon, and the, you know, the actual bottle itself, it's just a bottle, it's just a little thing, you know? So, it doesn't really matter either way, because Zeno thinks it's cool. That's basically the referee of every match is Zeno, and that's where you come to it, like, is that okay, Zeno? Is it alright for him to use that? And Zeno's basically like, if it looks cool, then yeah, if he's entertained by it, then it's okay. So he just tells Beerus and Tequila to stop bickering. It's like, it's cool, so it's fine. I'm like, oh shit, okay, it's cool, yes sir, fine. So yeah, I mean, that was a little bit of kind of debate moment, but then it just all comes back to Zeno, and if it entertains him, that's all that matters. There's a little bit of concern because the mafuba, the stronger the opponent is relative to the user, it takes a great tool on the body. You know, Master Roshi's an older guy, and this talisman user chick, she looked a little strong, so Krillin is a little worried, like, is that gonna take a, you know, toll on him at all or anything like that? But he gets back up and he's like, yes, victory, I did it, so it doesn't look like he's hurt that much. Then we have the guy wearing like the newsy cap, not the newsy cap, it's like a fucking beret or something. He's the guy that was like from Universe 4. I don't give a shit about Universe 4. I was gonna look up the names before this, but I'm like, I don't give a shit about Universe 4. He's the guy that was spying on Universe 7, you know, the main, kind of the mainish character of Universe 4, the short guy with the blue skin and the goggles and the cap, you know, he's the one. So he starts fighting against Roshi because he's pissed that he eliminated 2 of the other members of Universe 4, and he bulks up into what only I can describe as a platypus Broly form. Like, he's super muscular and buff, but he's got a fucking, like, platypus bill or, like, a duck bill. Like, that's your super form, really. I'm sitting there, like, in a world full of crazy buff transformations. You know, Frieza transforming into the fucking alien from Alien, like a fucking xenomorph. You got Cell with that perfect jawline. Your super form is a fucking platypus. I'm like, alright, well, this is gonna end great. By the way, have we seen Frieza recently? What the fuck is the F-Dog up to? I haven't seen him in forever. I mean, we might see him, like, occasionally. We'll cut back and forth to him torturing somebody, but we don't really get to see him all that much. There needs to be a Frieza and Frost episode coming up soon. That's all I gotta say. Well, anyway, this is where we start to really see that Master Roshi is starting to run out of gas. He's smart, and he's playing the field, and he knows how to fight his opponents. He's not doing a lot of wasted movement kind of shit. He's winning in terms of intimidation when he can, like with the sexy alien chick, who I will throw up here again just for the sake of people that are bored with me talking and want some jerk-off material. There you go. But he's playing it smart, but he's starting to run out of energy. He just doesn't have the key reserves that a lot of the other fighters have, like Goku, Piccolo, Vegeta, Gohan. He just doesn't have that kind of reserves, right? So he's starting to run out of power against this guy from Universe 4, to which he realizes that this is going to be it. This is going to be the end of his journey, you know? So he's going to put, like, everything he's got left into one final attack. So he buffs up, and then he goes and uses, this will be my final Kamehameha, and it's this really emotional moment, man, where he's going on, my beloved pupils, you know, eat well, drink well, you know, play well, train well. This will be my final Kamehameha, and he blasts that fucker platypus bitch right off the side of the thing, and, but that's it, though. I mean, it's a strong attack, and he pretty much, that was all he's got. So, Master Roshi, for a moment there, I believe he actually does die. You know, the same way that somebody that would die and then, like, immediately, like, take out a defibrillator, like, oh shit, clear, and then he brings them back. That's actually a really cool thing that Goku does, so it's great. You know, Krillin's about to jump back in the battlefield because he sees Master Roshi drop, and he's like, Master Roshi, no. Supreme Kai has to hold him back, is like, you can't go back into the fighting field because you've been knocked out already. So he shouts over, like, Goku, you need to help him! Goku's still getting entangled by, like, this slime dude, and it's great. The second I'm sitting there thinking, Goku, just go blue and break out. It's like, he does it. Like, Goku, hurry up and go blue and just get out. And then he does it. He goes blue, breaks out, instant transmission, right over to Master Roshi, puts his hand on the chest and just, fucking clear! Pff, live, Master Roshi! Pff, live, Master Roshi! Fucking using his fucking key as, like, a defibrillator, and then he just goes blue and I think transfers some of his energy into him, and that eventually allows him to come back. You know, he opens his eyes and he comes back. So I want to say that, yeah, he did die there for at least a minute or two. Like I said, they don't milk it too long. It's actually a pretty quick scene where Goku rushes over and does the clear shit and then he comes back. It doesn't take very long. So that's good, though. It was a sacrifice, and I don't really know if sacrifice, that's a big word to say because he's still alive and everything. If anything else, it should be like, the title of the episode, if I could call it, would be like, Master Roshi, you know, surpass your limits, Master Roshi, or like, you know, the acts of the mentor or something like that. I don't know, but, you know, sacrifice is a little bit crazy. But it really showed that Master Roshi, like, he's like, I've transcended some of my limits, just like you two are. You know, Goku and Krillin sort of kind of schooled the Master in a situation like that, because Master Roshi's an old dude, right? The thing with, like, I think the gag back in the beginning of the series was, like, he had, like, an immortal phoenix, and that made him so old. Like, he's, not eternal youth, obviously, but he just can't die, because, like, I think he stated, like, I think Korin stated he's, like, over 300 years old or something like that, and that's crazy, you know, that's pretty old, even by, you know, human or Saiyan standards. 300 years old, that's pretty old. But anyway, yeah, but, oh, what was I going to say? I was going to say, yeah, he's pretty old, so he figured, you know, I've already reached my limit. I've come to the point where I can't go any higher at this point, you know, like, I've been alive for decades and centuries at this point. You know, there's nothing I can do to get stronger, but seeing Goku and Krillin and everybody else train and get stronger makes him think, like, maybe maybe there is room to grow. And he really pushed himself to his limits, to the point where he died. But he came back. Now, I don't really know if he's going to be much help. It was a very emotional moment where Goku and him get up and they're walking away as master and student. That's pretty cool. The only thing that would have made that scene better, though, I think, in my opinion, is if they showed flashbacks from Goku training with Roshi as a kid. Now, I understand that's more animation you gotta do, but you could have used scenes from Dragon Ball, like the original. Like, it didn't have to look pretty. Like, you could have had, like, a filter over it or fade it, because I know the animation quality's not that good. It's gonna be a big contrast. But you could fade it. You could do, like, an effect where it looks like they're dreaming, like they're remembering the scenes from him training Goku as a kid. And Krillin as well. Like, that would have been a cool thing to see, and I think that would have made people, like, legitimately cry if that was the case. But yeah, there was, like, some good master and student thing there that we haven't seen in a long time of how Goku cares for Master Roshi, right? Like I said, I don't know if there's going to be a lot of help from Roshi at this point, because he came back and he's like, all right, there's still stuff to do, let's do it. Puts the shades back on. Actually, do I have some in here? Yeah, I do. It's like, this is from the Sanji video I did. Puts the shades back on, and he's just like, well, he's like, all right, let's get going, and they walk away. But, I don't know. I mean, he seems like, Goku gave him some of his energy, and, you know, I think Goku has more than enough energy to refill, you know, Roshi's tank and everything like that. But I don't know if maybe they can team up and, like, Roshi could help out Goku, like, direct him, like, go here and do this, or help out with that, or make sure you remember this, or something to help him out. Either that or Roshi should, I think, opt out. You know, like, to make sure he doesn't actually legitimately die, because that was a pretty close call, and Goku's, he might not always be there when, like, later on in the fight, when we're, like, Goku versus Jiren, that might be kind of an iffy moment there if Roshi drops again, so Roshi might have to, like, opt out, but I think he did his part. You know, he took out 3 members of Universe 4 in this episode, and I think some other ones in some other episodes. How many people did Roshi take out? I want to say at least 5 or 6, so I think Roshi pulled his weight. The Universe Tournament is down to 34 minutes, I believe, so still not out of the 30s yet, so that's great. I think it should be over half by now. Come on now. This should be over halfway done. Although Roshi does mention that over half of the combatants are now gone, or down under by half, so there's only going to be about probably like 20 or so people still around. So, yeah, wait, no, hold on. 8 universes, 80, so that means 40. Yeah, half of 80 is 40, Matt, so probably like in the 30s or something like that. That's how many people are left. We still got some riffraff to take care of, but I feel like after we get the riffraff done, like, there's going to be a few more episodes where it's, like, taking out, like, 3 or 4 or 5 members of, like, some universe that we don't give a shit about. There's still a lot of people in Universe 2. Universe 2 almost has a full roster, so we gotta... Yeah, that Universe 6. But Universe 6 has, like, characters that we already know about, like, that we kind of like Cabba. Like, I don't know what the fuck Cabba's going on right now, but Universe 6 has a lot of characters we care about. Universe 2 is, like, I think like 7 people left, and most of them we don't know anything about, really. So that's the case there. So we're probably gonna have a few more episodes where you have characters like that. But then once we get down to like the 5 or 6 characters, like we'll have Hid and Goku and Vegeta and Jiren and Topo. Yeah, man, who else? Oh, shit. I don't think anybody from Universe 3 is going to matter. We see a few of the robots fighting this, but I think Universe 3 is going to get eliminated. Universe 4 is going to get eliminated. Frost and Frieza, that's another one. I don't, you know, even like Cabba and Caulifla and Kale, I don't know. Do you think those guys are done? Do you think those Saiyans from Universe 6, we've seen everything they can do? You think they're just going to get eliminated next? I don't know. There's the 2 Namekians from Universe 6 we haven't seen yet. No one gives a shit. You know, Universe 9, Universe 10 is gone. So yeah, we're really running out of options here. It's getting close. We got a few of the riffraff left, mostly from Universe 2 and Universe 3 and Universe 4. But after that, it's going to get intense. So I hope you check that out. Thanks for watching, everybody. This will be Tekking101 signing out. Shine on, you magnificent, perverted bastard.